Welcome to another demo of RPA Genie. In this video, we'll see how we can enter the details into the fields of this RPA challenge website by extracting the contents from the Excel sheet provided here. So this is what the Excel sheet will look like. So there are 7 columns: address, email, phone number, and then we have 10 rows. Now the challenge over here is that now let's say if I click on the start button and then on submit, all of the fields have changed their position. So every time I click on the submit button, the rounds keep getting incremented and also the fields have moved from their previous locations. So once it reaches the 10th round, it will display this message. Okay. Now I will first show a demonstration of the final expected result for better understanding. So let me run the sequence. So as you can see by the end of the video, this is what we aim to achieve. Okay. Now, the objective of this challenge is to create a workflow that will read data from the spreadsheet and then it will insert them automatically onto this form. So currently it is at round 7. And now we have the last round. And that's it. So let's get started. So first I will create a new blank project. I will name it RPA_challenge. For description, I will call it demo and then RPA challenge. Then I'll click on create. Okay. So the first thing that we need is the open Excel application because we want to read the contents from the Excel. So I need to provide a path to it. So for that, I'll use the local file. And since I've already downloaded it over here, I will just select it. So once that is done, we need the read range activity in order to read the Excel application. So for read range, I need to set a range over here. So for that, I will select A column and then 1 for the first row. So it will be A1. And then I'll check on the include header option. Okay, now that this is done, we need to open that RPA challenge website. So for that, we need the open browser activity. And I will copy the URL from here. And I will paste it over here. We can also use another additional activity called maximize in order to maximize that tab. So that is also there. Now that this is done, we need the click activity in order to click on that start button that we saw earlier. So let me go over here and get that back. Okay. So next I will click on this indicate on screen option. I'll select this window. And I will hover the mouse over here. And let me confirm it. Okay, it has been highlighted correctly. Then uncheck this first option and click on OK. And we are done with that. Thereafter, I will use the assign activity. Now I need to create a variable and I will call it where counter. This where counter has to be of type integer. So let me select integer from these options. Next, I will set the value to 0. Now that that is done, we will use the for each activity. Now let's say we just want to fill up to a certain round and not all of the rounds. So that's when this assign and for each will be useful. Now that that has been done, we need the decision activity in order to set a condition. So the condition I will set over here will be where counter as greater than equal to 5. Now for the time being, we'll keep this on hold because first we'll see how we can fill all of the 10 rounds. So let's get that done first. So for that, we need the set text activity. So I'll drag and drop it here. Now to avoid confusion, I will name it as first name so that it corresponds to each of the columns. And it should match to this first name field over here. So let me rename the label as first name. Next, I will indicate it over here. And then I will uncheck ID and then check the reflect name option and click on OK. Under value, we will write where item and in the bracket first name. Now that that is done, we need another one for last name. So I will rename the label as last name. Then I will indicate it on the screen where last name is located. I need to uncheck ID and then check the second last option, click on OK. Value will be where item and in the bracket last name. And we need to make sure that whatever contents we enter in value correspond to the contents present in the Excel sheet. So next is company name. Now we need to keep doing this for all of the 7 columns present in the Excel. Now that we have used the set text activity for the last column, we need a click activity in order to submit all the entries that will be filled over here and to move on to the next row. So I will highlight it, uncheck the first option, click on OK. Finally, we need something in order to increment the variable that we created over here. So for that, again, I will use the assign activity. And I will set it to where counter and the value will be where counter plus 1. Okay, I will save this, close this, and okay, so now let's run the sequence. And there you have it. All the contents from the rows are getting filled over here. So now this sequence is for filling all of the rounds And once this is done, I will show how we can fill only a certain number of rounds. So, okay, we are at the final round now, the 10th one. And yes, that's it. So success rate is 100%. Okay. Now the only activity we need in order to, just get to a particular number of rounds is the break activity. So I will drag and drop it over here. And as you can see, the condition is greater than equal to 5. So once the condition has been reached, it will break from the loop. So I will save it and I will run the sequence again. So now it's at round 1, round 2, the 4th, and that's it. Thank you for watching.